Good morning everyone. So today we are going to discuss about optical flats. So optical flats are cylindrical pieces with 25 to 300 mm diameter. So this is the schematic of optical flats. So these optical flats are having various diameters, depends upon the workpiece. So depends upon the application, it means depends upon the size of the workpiece. We can vary the size of the optical flat from 25 mm to 300 mm with the working surfaces flat. So depends upon the application. The working surfaces might be a single side or both the sides. So depends upon the surface. So it means depends upon the working surface. This might be a single side flat or both sides flat. So an optical flat may be any transparent material. So optical flat can be made up of glass or plastics. It might be a transparent material. Usually glass with two highly polished surfaces. So the surface which we are going to work, the surface should be highly flat. Optical flats are made up of fused quartz or borosilicate glass. So this glass is clear and colorless. So the cylindrical surface of the optical flats are finished by grinding and the working surfaces are finished by lapping and polishing process. So these are the various manufacturing process for obtaining the required surface finish of the component. So optical flats are having high hardness. So as optical flats are going to rub against the working surface, due to that the wear and tear of the components will be high. So to avoid that, the hardness of the component should be high. Next, the low coefficient of expansion. So as we know that the components will expand depends upon the thermal conditions. So some components will expand and contract depends upon the change in temperature. So our component should have low coefficient of expansion so that the deviation should be very minute. Next, resistance to corrosion. So our component should be, if we are using this glass as the optical flat material, then it will not be corroded. So much longer useful life. So these are the schematics of optical flats. So optical flats are available in various diameters in a set. So types of optical flats. There are two types of optical flats, that is type A and type B. So depends upon the application, we can use type A or type B. So it has type A. So it has only one flat surface. For type A, it has only one flat surface. The working surface of this type of flat is indicated by an arrowhead. So on the top of the flat surface, arrowhead will be marked on the cylindrical surface pointing towards the working surface. Next, this type of flats are used for testing flatness of precision measuring surfaces of flats, slips, etc. For identifying the flatness of slip gauges, we are going to use this type of optical flats, that is type A optical flat. Coming to optical type B, so it has both surfaces flat. Whereas in type A, it is only one surface is flat. Whereas in type B, both the surfaces, top and bottom surfaces, both should be flat and parallel to each other. Next, this type of flats are used for testing measuring surfaces of micrometers, measuring anvils, etc. So as we know that micrometers are end standards. So micrometers consists of a shaft, a fixed anvil and a shaft. So the shafts and anvils both should be parallel to each other and the surface should be flat. So for identifying the flatness of those ends, it means measuring surface of micrometers or anvils, we are going to use this type of optical flats for identifying the flatness or parallelism of those components. So next, use of optical flat. So the flatness of working surface of an optical flat is tested by comparing its flatness with a master flat or a known flatness. So next, the testing is usually carried out by observing the interference fringes. So we will discuss about those fringes. So it is usually carried out by observing the fringes using monochromatic light source. So along these optical flats, we are going to use one more thing, that is called monochromatic light source. Is none other than a light. So if the optical flat under test has perfectly flat surface, then the fringes observed will be straight lines. So the fringes will be in straight lines. So next, when an optical flat is placed on work surface, on workpiece surfaces, it will not form an intimate contact. So consider this as our workpiece. So this is our workpiece and this is our optical flat. This is our optical flat. So if we place the optical flat on the surface of the workpiece, it will not coincide each other. So there will be some intermediate gap. So when an optical flat is placed on the workpiece surface, it will not form an intimate contact. It means immediate contact. Next, it will be a slight inclination. It will be a slight inclination to the surface, forming at a wedge between the surfaces. So here if you observe that there is some inclination between the workpiece surface and the flat. So it is making some inclination. So this inclination or the gap is due to air gap, that is called air wedge. So if optical flat is now illuminated by monochromatic light, so here we are passing a light ray on the optical flat. So consider this S. So this S is a source. So from a source of light, yes, a light ray is emitting on an optical flat. So if optical flat is now illuminated by monochromatic light, interference fringes will be observed. So some fringes will be observed. We will discuss that. So they are produced by the interference of light rays reflected from the bottom face of the optical flat and the top face of the workpiece. So here the light ray is reflected by two means, that is bottom surface of the optical flat and the top surface of the workpiece. So if you observe a light ray is emitting from the source S and it is falling on our optical flat. So at A it is deviating, at A it is reflecting. It means it is reflecting due to the bottom surface of the optical flat, and again here it is reflecting, that is due to the top surface of the workpiece. So that is bottom face of the optical flat and the top face of the workpiece. Next, consider a light ray sending. Consider a light ray of a light incident at S on optical flat placed over a workpiece. So this is the workpiece and this is the optical flat and S is the light ray. It passes through the optical flat and its bottom face is divided into two components. So here S, the light ray S is passing through the optical flat, and at the bottom of the optical flat it is splitting into two portions. So optical flat and its bottom face is divided into two components. At the bottom surface of the optical flat it is dividing into two surfaces. One component of the incident ray gets reflected from the bottom of the optical flat. So it is reflecting from the optical flat A in the direction of AB. From A it is deviating and it is moving here to the direction of B. So the light ray is AB, in the direction of AB. Next, the other portion transmitted through the layer of entrapped air. So as earlier we discussed that there will be air gap between that. So due to the air wedge, it means due to air gap, there will be some inclination. So the layer of entrapment, so entrapment air will be reflected by the top surface of the workpiece at C. So at junction C, the second light ray. So here the light ray is fitted into two parts at the junction A. One is traveling towards B and other is traveling towards C. It means towards the surface of the workpiece. Again from the surface of the workpiece it is reflecting. Be reflected by the top face top face of the workpiece at C in the direction CDE. So along the direction CDE, the second light ray is traveling. Next, the paths traveled by both the reflected rays. The paths traveled by both the reflected rays differ by an amount of ACD. So here, first write ACD. So this is the difference between the two lights. So from S to A, that is light source, till the bottom surface of the optical flat. So again, it is traveling from A to B. That is from the bottom surface of the flat to the A. So from here, the bottom surface of the A, that is D and E. From here to here, it is traveling. So AB is equivalent to DE. So the only difference between these two is the second light ray is traveling from A to C and then C to D. So that is ACD. A to C and C to D. So the amount of the second light ray is traveling more than the first ray. That is the distance ACD. The second component of the ray lags behind the first. The second component of the ray lags behind the first by an amount equal to twice the air gap. So whatever the air gap present in this, so it is the twice of the distance the light ray is traveling. Through both the though both the components have the same wavelength and same start, the difference in their path causes them to either in phase or out of phase. This is important. So both the light ray is having the same wavelength and same start. The light ray started at the same point, having same wavelength and same start, but at the end it becomes 2. So it depends upon the paths. There it might be either in phase or out of phase. So if the path difference between the reflected rays is even multiple of half wavelength, they will be out of phase. Due to that, dark band will be observed. So if the path difference between the two rays is even multiples, then dark bands will be formed. So if the difference is odd, then the brighter bands will be observed. So it depends upon the factor. It means if it is an even factor, then the dark bands will be formed, and if it is an odd factor, then the brightness bands will be formed. So due to that, depending upon the depends upon the air gap, alternate dark and bright bands are observed. So these alternate bright and dark bands are called fringes. So depending upon the air gap, this alternate dark as well as bright bands are observed. Next, so these are the fringes. So here you can observe that alternate dark, again bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark, bright. So alternate bands are observed, are obtaining. These alternate bands are called fringes. So types of fringes. So it depends upon the profile of the component. We have various types of fringes. So if the optical flat under test has a perfectly flat surface, then the fringes observed will be straight line. So if the component is straight and is having good flatness, then the fringes obtained will be straight lines. So if the component is like this, concave or convex profiles. So if the workpiece is concave, it means a curvy nature, concave or convex, the fringe pattern will be as shown in figure B. So it depends upon the profile. So if it is flat, then the straight lines will be obtained. If it is a curve, either convex or concave, this curvy linear fringes will be obtained on the surface of the component of the optical flat. Next, so the surface is flat with slight roundings at the corner. So if the component is having chamfers, fillets at the end, then the obtained fringes will be like this. So it depends upon the profile. We can get various types of fringes. By observing the type of fringes, it means the formation of the fringes, we can identify the type of flatness. It means the flatness is good or it is having a curvature or smooth or irregular surface. That can be identified by means of fringe pattern. So here you can observe the types of fringes. The various fringes are obtained on the top of the flat, optical flat. So again, in this image also, here various fringes are formed. So some fringes are straight and some are curvilinear.